Enem Ahmed. Men who are conquering the globe. Super One champions all. Who will be next?
You take it in your life that I don't want to go unless arises your love. You take it in this fight tonight. Today's another day that I see. I'm gonna find a way to be. You tell it in your life. I'm taking hold of all of this. Rises your love. You take me in this fight tonight. Today's another day that I see. I'm gonna find a way to be. Come on while we walk tonight to find a light to carry us away. Today. Come on while we walk tonight to find a light to carry us away. Today. I'm living in your life. I'm taking hold of all of this. Rises your love. You take me in your stride tonight. Today's another day that I see. I'm gonna find a way. Come on while we walk tonight to find a light to carry us away. Today. Come on while we walk tonight to find a light to carry us away. Today.
You're listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality, and Trade Price Cars.
Hello everybody and a very warm good afternoon to you. Welcome to PF International. It is the first round of the 2018 Tutto Money Super One Series, the British Karting Championships of 9 fantastic classes here this weekend, with X30s, Cadets, Rotax Maxes all coming out on the circuit over the course of the next 48 hours. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend at the office. Good afternoon, Jake Sanson here, live trackside from PF International and also at the Downforce UK live stream as well. to all those of you who are listening, it is going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. We have qualifying time practice coming up for you in just a few moments' time. We're going to have some absolutely terrific battling over the course of the next 48 hours as the drivers get themselves underway for the 2018 British Karting Championships. We've got so much to talk about as we come into this new season. We have a lot of new drivers coming into the 2018 season, and we've got several competitors who will be taking their first steps into the world of British National Karting Championship fame and glory as they all battle for a place on the winners' roster. A magnificent list of drivers who have become champion in the British Super 1 Karting Championships since 1983. It has been an absolutely amazing combination of champions. 1981, my apologies. But of those champions, there are some names that resonate louder than others, of course. The likes of Alan McNish, David Coulthard, Jenson Button, Dan Weldon, the late great IndyCar star, Anthony Davidson, Lewis Hamilton, Gary Paffett, Paul di Resta, Oliver Rowland, you name it, they have come here and conquered and have gone on to forge very successful international and national motorsport careers. Of course, one of our newest national champions, Ashley Sutton, British Touring Car champion in 2017. 10 years before, he was a Super 1 Series champion as well. So there's plenty of great talent that comes out of this paddock and goes on to win the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, Le Mans 24 Hours, you name it, they'll win it. And some of the talent has even come from abroad to compete here, as they know that the British National Championship is the best of its kind at national level to garner talent to move on to the world of professional motorsport. There is not a single national karting championship in the world that can say it has given as many national and world champions to the world of motorsport such as this, and we are here on a relatively pleasant sunny afternoon here in the early part of April at the gorgeous Paul Fletcher International Circuit, run of course by the Trent Valley Karting Club, and it is a wonderful circuit, the Abu Dhabi of British karting. There is no better way to describe it, and we have some amazing drivers coming out onto the circuit for their first qualifying session. We will begin our qualifying sessions in a little under 2 minutes time, and there's going to be quite a lot of them to talk about over the course of the next few days. If you're listening at home via Downforce Radio, then do please tweet us or send us a message via the Spreaker application. You can message us all the way through the broadcasts. We have several going on over the course of the weekend, of course, to keep up with the busy schedule of Super 1 this weekend, and there's going to be an awful lot of racing to talk about. So we're here now live. We're here again tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, going live on Downforce Radio, as well as at 10 minutes past 12 for the first body of races. And then we have 10 past 8 in the morning, the repêchages, and then we go straight into the main action for the finals at 1:15 on Sunday. It's a very punishing schedule ahead of us, and we've got so many races to talk about and so many drivers to talk about. I'm clearly going to trip over my worms many times over the course of the next 48 hours, but hopefully we're going to see some absolutely spellbinding, action-packed, spectacular, rip-roaring racing around this magnificent circuit. It's a fantastic location to begin the National Karting Championships. It has done so now for the last few years. And in a very similar way to the way that Brands Hatch starts and ends the British Touring Car Championships, PF International has now garnered itself a bit of a reputation for starting and ending the National British Championships. It also, of course, has held many magnificent events over the last 5 years, including the CIK FIA World Championships that were held here last year. And it is, without a doubt, one of the most fantastic locations for karting in the entirety of Great Britain. 1,382 metres around this magnificent circuit, with plenty of overtaking opportunities and a lot of magnificent reputation, giving it all of the credence it deserves. The first green flag is flown at the top of the starting gantry just opposite from me as Mr. Starter gets us underway for the first 6 minutes qualifying session, and it's for Honda Cadet in the first time qualifying group. The O-plate, Sebastian Bloch, Alfie Rigby, kart number 8, number 9, Dan Ginshard, 12, Darrell Taylor, 16, Mikai Singh, 18, Daniel Parron-Smith, 20, Lorenzo Cordell, 21, Dan Holdsworth, 23, Ethan Simmons, 28, Jack Hobson, 37, Joshua Patterson, 39, Cruz Speakman. Then we have 42, Ryan Willis. 44, Sasha Wiley. 51, Kian Berta. 68, Maximilian Solarski. 77, Antonis Sofronio. 78, Cameron Crockett. 94, Leon Henderson. And 95, Sonny Smith. That's the first time qualifying group for Honda Cadets. The second time group will, of course, come out after that. So if you haven't heard your favourite racing driver, if you're listening at home, don't worry. They will be coming out in the second group of qualifying. So this is going to be an interesting one because we're still yet to see who's really going to crack the whip for the first blood in the 2018 season in terms of timed qualifying. We're going to see some very exciting young racers race their way around the circuit, of course, for what promises to be an action-packed season. We go to many different race meetings over the course of the year. From PF International, we, of course, move on to Wilton Mill. We come back to PF International in the Super 1 Series for the OK classes at junior and senior level on the 5th and 6th of May. Then to Larkhall, to Clay Pigeon, to Rowra, PF International again for OK Junior and OK Senior over the course of the 30th of June and 1st of July. Then same kind of meeting for Shennington. We've got a yellow flag already underneath the Lichfield Bridge up towards turn 3. So we've had our first spin of the 2018 season under qualifying conditions, and that is just under the Lichfield Bridge, or just beyond the Lichfield Bridge, I should say. But yellow flags are withdrawn quickly, so the driver who has spun has managed to recover pretty quickly, which is good news. No major catastrophes. Leading the queue, by the way, as they run around the circuit in unison, is the 8 of Alfie Rigby, and he has got the first lap in as a result of his times. Sebastian Block and Sonny Smith giving chase. Plenty of drivers running around the circuit in earnest. Now, who is it that had that little off there under the Lichfield Bridge? It's the 16. That is Mikai Singh, who has managed to get going again, but fortunately it looks as though the kart isn't even damaged, so he should be able to continue on without too much of a trouble. Rob Turnbull writes, good luck to the V Motorsports drivers who are out now. There are plenty of them, of course, as they battle away for position. Oh, Sebastian Block gets the first time lap in. A 109.72 from Sonny Smith and Dan Ginchard. Alfie Rigby, Ethan Simmons and Kian Berta in the top 6. And it's already very close indeed, as we've got the first 8 karts over the line, separated by less than a second, with Leon Henderson and Darryl Taylor in the mix there as well. Terrific start to proceedings then from the first time laps, as the drivers are already getting themselves neatly up to speed. But it's the man from Chislehurst, or at least that's where he's based at the moment, the O-Plate, the New Zealander, Sebastian Block, Open champion last year. He is the fastest at the moment from the number 95. The young man from Southampton, Sonny Smith, who is running very well indeed there on the Synergy chassis. Putting on a fantastic show at the moment as they battle away for position. Not a bad run thus far from the young man from Leavesden, Daniel Ginchard, who's put himself into a very strong position. He, of course, part of the very famous Ginchard family that's been so strong on the short oval scene. You could write novels about just how prolific the Ginchard family is in short ovals, but Dan Ginchard making the switch to karting for his fledgling motorsport career. Sonny Smith goes to the top immediately on a 109.44. Now Leon Henderson goes to the top. Now Dan Ginchard's done so. So Ginchard on a 109.14 goes to the top. He's purple in the first sector. Kian Berta, by the way, is the fastest of all in the second sector, and the fastest of all in the third is Sonny Smith. Just to give you sector times, because I'm sure there's going to be people out there who will want to know. The first sector time, the fastest, is Dan Ginchard on a 24.51. That has just been bettered on this flying lap by Alfie Rigby, so he is surely going to go faster. The second split was Kian Berta, and he was on a 21.66, so very fast already as things continue to progress on. We'll find out what the sector times are doing in the second split. We've got a minute and a half left of this qualifying group. You've got to get on it very quickly indeed in these sessions. You only get 6 minutes per group, so you have to be very, very fast on the uptake, and the drivers are getting on with it. A new fastest sector time for the second sector, and it's Kian Berta again, who does a 21.39. He's the fastest in the second split, but you have to be fast through every single split to get that perfect lap time in. So as the queue dives its way into the final chicane and out onto the home straight, we're going to get to see a bit more of a sweeping of times. Up to the top goes Rigby on a 108.62. Not a bad third sector. That kept him up to the top. Kian Berta now goes second fastest. In behind him is Ginchard, then Block, Smith, Hobson, Henderson, Simmons, Parent-Smith and Willis, and there is 0.79 between all 10 of them. That is brilliant stuff in the first part of it. Now they have just started, the majority of them have started their final qualifying lap. some of them may actually be able to get an additional qualifying lap in based on the fact that they are running at the front of that particular queue. Now, Block has gone fastest of all in the first sector, a 24.12, so he's looking pretty strong on this flying lap. Behind the top 10 of Parent Smith and Willis in 9th and 10th, we have Darrell Taylor, then Sasha Wiley. Lorenzo Cordell is 13th, ahead of Antonis Safronio. Then we have Josh Patterson, Mikai Singh, Cruz Speakman, Maximilian Solarski, Cameron Crockett, and Dan Holdsworth, who has pitted. So I have a feeling that Dan Holdsworth has got some kind of technical difficulty already, having only set 2 laps around the circuit. Hopefully he will be able to go out again, although if he is not out on the circuit now, he will not get another opportunity. So it looks as though it's a difficult start to the weekend for Dan Holdsworth. Over the line, and there's going to be a few drivers, 3 namely, who will get another lap in. And it's Block, Rigby and Smith. They will battle for pole position. Kian Berta takes it for the moment, 0.02 of a second quicker than Sebastian Block. But Block, Rigby and Smith have all got an additional qualifying lap in because they were at the front of the queue and the 3 of them got by before time ran down. So Block, Rigby and Smith could be the ones to go first, second and third here. Berta, Block, Rigby, Sonny Smith, Dan Ginchard and Darrell Taylor in the top 6 at the moment. Leon Henderson is 7th. Then it's Simmons. In 8th position is, though it was Simmons, now it's Leon Henderson. So Ginchard, Taylor, Henderson, Simmons, Hobson and Willis. Parent Smith, Cordell, Safronio, Riley, Patterson, Singh, Speakman, Solarski, Crockett and Holdsworth. But Block, Rigby and Smith are still going and they still have good qualifying laps to come in. So let's see how they're going to finish off their qualifying runs. And it is going to be very close indeed as they battle away on this final tour. They'll come out of the chicanes. Well, they're currently down at the far end of the circuit. Here they come now to get their flying lap in. 3 of them have gone out to continue on another lap, but they didn't realise the checkered flag was out. Across the finish line, who's going to be pole? Is it going to be Kian Berta? No, it's not. It's Sonny Smith. Sonny Smith in the 95 has got the pole position. A 108.40. He is the fastest in his group. Sonny Smith with a brilliant third sector time of a 22.60. Very good work from him indeed there. 0.08 of a second quicker than the New Zealander Sebastian Block. Third is going to be Kian Berta. Alfie Rigby in 4th from Ginchard, Taylor, Henderson, Simmons, Hobson and Ryan Willis. Then it's Daniel Parran-Smith from Lorenzo Cordell, Antonis Safronio, Sasha Wiley, Josh Patterson, Mikai Singh, Cruz Speakman, Maximilian Solarski, Cameron Crockett and Dan Holdsworth. So that's your first group. A really good start to proceedings here at PF International. And a brilliant start to the weekend for the man who's gone fastest of all there. So already we're going straight into the second group, and that's going to be led out by Oliver Greenall with Theo Makuris, Oliver Stewart, Harley Horton and Alex Preston giving chase. So very exciting stuff. They go through the sessions pretty quickly, of course, here at PF International. We've got a lot of classes to come out on the circuit, and the efficient running of Super 1 Series here at PF International with the support of the Trent Valley Kart Club is second to none. They really do things very quickly indeed. The turnaround is magnificent. The marshalling work and the stewarding and officialdom is absolutely top-notch, and that means we get things done very quickly. Straight away we get into the second timed qualifying session, and the drivers are out on circuit, and they are in number order for the second time group at Honda Cadet. Number 4, Oliver Greenall. 7 is Theo Makuris. 17 is Oliver Stewart. 22 is Harley Horton. 30 is Alex Preston. 33 is Alistair Cresswell. 36 Neo Phipps. 41 is Ed Pearson. 48 is Aidan Lynn. 49 is Morris Henry. 52 is Jack Plant. 66 is Ollie Handley. Then we have number 67, the Scotsman Lennon Brandy. 69 is Zico Hopkins Collis. 73 is Tristan Rennie. 81 is Mitchell Gibbons. 84 is Jack Clements. 88 is Marcos Luzio. 91 is Archie Walker. And 96 is Zach Styler. Quite a lot of privateers in the running in the 2018 season, as the drivers are just getting themselves around the circuit for the first time. This will not be their fastest lap by any stretch of the imagination, but the first one out in number order is the number 4, of course, Oliver Greenall, the man from Great Dunmow in Essex, as he pushes himself around the circuit to try and get the fastest time from his group. He's going to have a job. I mean, there are a lot of novices this season. We've got quite a few gunning for the rookies crown this year. The rookies, namely, I'm going to repeat some of the drivers that I talked about in the first group, but those who are gunning for the Rookies Cup this year are Mikai Singh, Daniel Parran-Smith, Ethan Simmons, Jack Hobson, Alex Preston, Alistair Cresswell, Josh Patterson, Ryan Willis, Sasha Wiley, Aidan Lynn, Morris Henry, Jack Plant, Ollie Handley, Lennon Brandy, Maximilian Solarski, Zico Hopkins Collis. This is all still the rookies, by the way. Tristan Rennie, Teddy Thomas, Antonis Safronio, Cameron Crockett, Jack Clements, Marcus Luzio, Archie Walker, and Zach Styler. That's all the rookies in Honda Cadet in 2018. There's rather a lot of them, so it's going to be a very competitive rookie class in the 2018 season as they all bid to be the best rookie. Best rookie, of course, in 2018 in Super 1 Series, as it does every year, gets quite an amazing trophy at the end of the year, and obviously a lot of incentive to compete as a rookie at the Super 1 Series. There's an amazing amount of work that goes on to bring new talent and new blood into the Super 1 Series paddock. If you want more information, if you're thinking, Super 1, is it for me? Race at club level, I'd love to give the National Championship a try. Head to the website, super1series.com. Plenty of information on how to get started, and it's a great opportunity for you to take your motor racing career to national level. Across the line, the first flying lap is going to be completed by the drivers, and at the moment it is Tristan Rennie at the top. The Project 1 racing driver has just done a 1:10.02. The first flying lap is only 200ths of a second quicker than Oliver Stewart. Then Theo Mercouris is 200ths further back. Jack Clements is at the same pace, to the 100th of a second in fourth position, and Oliver Greenall is 800ths of a second off fastest time in fifth place. That means the top five are covered by less than a tenth of a second. A tenth of a second, by the way, is less time than it takes to blink your eye. So can you now consider that the top five drivers are covered by less than a tenth of a second? It is magnificent. This is how close it is at Honda Cadet in the MSA British Super 1 Karting Championships. It's absolutely fantastic. So the driver's still pushing away on the far side of the circuit, down the long stretches, into that left-right combination where last year I had a go on this particular circuit in the Arrive and Drives and very nearly became the first commentator to roll it around the circuit. Yes, I very nearly did that, and I'm never talking about it ever again. So they're going to come out of this lap to complete their third lap around the circuit, their second flying lap. The 91 crosses the line first. That's Archie Walker. He's in the top three, momentarily at least, because Oliver Greenall has gone to the top with a fastest lap, fastest first sector, fastest second sector is Theo Mercouris, fastest third sector is actually Jack Clements, but they're all still covered by just over a quarter of a second. Oliver Greenall's fastest lap is a 1:08.97, so a very good lap time from Greenall. Mercouris still there in second, then Rennie, Clements, Jack Plant is fifth, Oliver Stewart, then Harley Horton, Ed Pearson, Archie Walker and Mitchell Gibbons in 10th. Then we have Ollie Handley from Morris Henry, Neo Phipps, Marcus Luzio, Aidan Lynn, Zach Styler, Alistair Cresswell, Zico Hopkins-Collis, Alex Preston, and Lennon Brandy has only had one lap, and it wasn't his flying lap, so he's come in, and it looks like the Scot has had a few technical problems already. Now, is he going to have enough time to get out and do another flying lap? Well, he's got to do it now, ultimately, otherwise he's not going to have another chance. So I'm hoping he does, but it looks to me as though Lennon Brandy may have to start his first weekend of the 2018 season from the back end of the field. So it's going to be a long weekend for Lennon Brandy. Here they come down the straight, and again it is the 91 that's leading the queue. So up to the top goes Archie Walker briefly, then Greenall goes faster, then Rennie pops in behind. Theo Mercouris goes fastest of all. He's fastest in the second and third sectors, purple in both. So a 1:08.52 for Theo Mercouris puts him in the lead with a tenth of a second's distance to Oliver Greenall in second place. Then it's Rennie, Stewart, Clements, Walker, Pearson, Gibbons, Jack Plant and Harley Horton in the top 10. From Neo Phipps, Lynn, Henry, Handley, Luzio, Styler, Preston, Cresswell and Hopkins-Collis, with Lennon Brandy looking like he's going to finish his session where he is, unfortunately, in 20th and in the pits. That's not where he was hoping to finish, but that is unfortunately where he is currently sat. So the drivers continue to battle away, and it is going to be an interesting one as the drivers come into their last qualifying laps. Now, I'm not sure anybody is going to be able to complete another timed lap and then start another one. I think we're going to just run out of time. Well, it's going to be close, actually, because this leading trio is again going to be close to the flag. 10 seconds on the clock. How many are going to get through to start another lap? It's not going to be many of them as we get 4 seconds on the clock. 3. There's going to be 1, 2, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, 6, 7 of them. So it looks like quite a few of them. Only Mitchell Gibbons crossed the line there after the time. So 7 of them are going to get another flying lap in. And those 7 are Mercouris, Greenall, Rennie, Clements, Stewart, Pearson and Archie Walker, and at the moment they are all in the top 8. So Horton is 7th in front of Archie Walker. Then it's Neo Phipps from Gibbons, Plant, Lynn, Luzio, Zach Styler, Morris Henry, Ollie Handley, Alistair Cresswell, Alex Preston, Zico Hopkins-Collis and Lennon Brandy. And that's the way that 9th position, Neo Phipps, down to 20th, Lennon Brandy, is going to finish. But those 7 drivers, Mercouris, Greenall, Rennie, Clements, Stewart, Pearson and Walker, are all still on their final flying laps. So this is going to be a really interesting end to the qualifying session for these guys, and it's a purple in Sector 1 for Theo Mercouris on a 24.10, and purple in the second sector for Theo Mercouris as well. So he's definitely looking like he has what it takes to be the fastest here. But is this going to be a perfect end to the lap? The last 7 karts come out of the final turn, down the home stretch. Who's going to be the fastest in the group? It's not going to be Greenall. Rennie's gone faster, then the Mercouris goes fastest of all. Purple in the first, second and third sectors for Theo Mercouris. The perfect lap time, a 108.05 for him, and that's 0.41 of a second faster than Tristan Rennie in second place. Brilliant work from Mercouris. Clements is a very valiant third place there. Great work from him. Oliver Greenall, I should say, in behind Jack Clements in third place. Then it's Oliver Stewart, Edward Pearson and Archie Walker. So those 7 do go to the top 7 positions, and they're all covered by 0.65 of a second, which is impressive when you consider that Mercouris' advantage over Rennie is 0.41 on his own. That is absolutely astonishing. So Theo Mercouris definitely in for a good weekend if things are currently as they stand on a 1.8.05. That is a very good time indeed from Mercouris, and I think that was actually faster than in the previous session set by Sonny Smith as well. So very good work indeed. And a cracking start to the weekend for the Honda Cadets. So Theo Mercouris on a 108.05 tops the second group from Rennie, Clements, Greenall, Stewart, Pearson, Walker, Harley Horton, Neo Phipps, and rounding up the top 10 is Mitchell Gibbons. Cracking start then from the Honda Cadets. They've really given us some action in the opening 13 minutes of the weekend from the qualifying sessions, and Rob Turnbull says, well done Clements. Jack has helped himself into third position in his group on a 108.49, so a very good start to the proceedings. Good to know that there's support at home as well as here at the circuit. We are live on Downforce Radio via Downforce UK's Facebook page and their website downforceracing.uk, and on the live application Spreaker, which is very easy to download. It's free on your smartphones, be you on Apple or Android devices. Just search for Spreaker in the App Store, download it and search for Super 1 Series Live when you're on the Spreaker application. Very easy, and of course everything that is live is stored so you can listen back to it later to share with your mates and your sponsors and corporate partners so that they know just how brilliant you were over the course of qualifying, heats and of course finals on Sunday afternoon. So Honda Cadet is over for the moment. They'll be back, of course, in action tomorrow morning for the first of their heats, and we've got 23 heats over the course of tomorrow, so it's going to be a very busy day in the commentary box and here trackside. But we've had Honda Cadets. We're also going to be seeing the IARMY Cadets and the X30 categories out on the circuit here over the course of the rest of this afternoon. And there are 3 separate classes for the X30s represented in the first round here at PF International. We have the Junior, Senior and Minis. So it's going to be an interesting one for the X30 Minis. It's basically the first time, I think, that X30 Minis are going to be represented at this level, certainly for quite a while. And there's a brilliant group of drivers who are going to be competing in them. And we have to say a huge thank you on the Downforce Radio side of things to Cato Motorsport. There are 3 drivers competing in X30 Minis. The whole team has basically given us the wherewithal to come and broadcast live this weekend. So a huge thank you to KMS and the whole team. And we're now going to be focusing on that particular championship, the X30 Minis, as the weekend continues. But the timed qualifying session for Honda Cadets in both of those groups has come to an end, and it's going to be the X30 Minis that come out now onto the circuit. So where can you find more information about the championship and how to get involved? Well, the website is super1series.com, and it's the National Championship of British Karting. It has seen so many incredible drivers become champion and move on to massive things in the world of motor racing. I mean, we've talked about the household names that are David Coulthard, Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, Dan Weldon, Alan McNish, but even in recent years, in the last sort of 10 years, there have been some incredible drivers who have gone on to massive things in motorsport. George Russell, double champion, now a Mercedes-AMG F1 reserve driver. You've got the likes of Jamie Caroline, British F4 champion last year, Billy Munger, Pride of Britain award winner last year, and an ambassador for disabled racers in motorsport following his accident at Donington Park last year. Then you've got even more magnificent champions such as Ross Gunn, Ben Barnico, Alex Gill, Enam Ahmed, a British F3 champion, Dean McDonald, Jahan Darawala, and Guan Yu Zhou, 2 of the international champions at Super 1 who have gone on to race in the International Formula 3 Championship. This really is the starting point for a professional racing driver's motorsport career. And that buzzing you can hear in the background is the X30 Minis that have come out onto the circuit as they go racing for their timed qualifying laps. There's not many of them, but that means it's going to be incredibly close between the dozen or so drivers that we have out on the circuit. And they are the number 14, Josh Rowledge, 15, Aaron Walker, 27, Ivan Lomliev, 32, Jacob McComb, 33, Oliver Duffel, 47, Jessica Edgar, 62, Freddie Tomlinson, 71, Harvey Ryby, 75, Matthew Higgins, 76, Joshua McLean, 84, Daniel Bolton, and 92, Rashan Chigarimbo. Very exciting stuff from the X30 Minis as all 12 of them battle their way around the circuit. Some of them are working together, others are lone rangers out on their own at the moment, and it's going to be the drivers that run in the queue around the circuit flat on the throttle that are going to be the ones to watch. Josh McLean is going to be the first one. He's out there on his own in the Fusion Motorsport kart, the Synergy chassis, and was fastest in both the second and third splits on his first lap around the circuit, although of course that is not really indicative of the sort of pace they're going to be lapping out. They will be sub 60 over the course of this lap, a lot faster of course than Cadet's X30s, and obviously my X30 knowledge comes from the European scene because of course we've been racing at the IAMI X30 European Series for one non-championship round, the Valencia Winter Cup, and obviously a couple of weeks ago as well at Salbris in France, where a lot of these drivers were actually there, including Josh Rowledge and Josh McLean, both of whom acquitted themselves very well indeed in Europe, and hopefully there's more of the British contingent to head over there to come as things progress, although of course in the European scene Josh McLean and Josh Rowledge actually classify as X30 Juniors, as there is a slight difference in the age categories, so they were racing in X30 Juniors out in Europe, in X30 Minis here in Great Britain. Here they come across the line, and Dan Bolton has gone fastest of all. And that doesn't last very long. Ivan Lomliev does a 1:02.04. And Ivan Lomliev in the Coles Racing Machine is fastest of all until Josh Rowledge shows up and then comes up with a 61.55. Very good indeed. Fastest in the second and third splits. Most of them are pretty much sub 20 seconds in the second split, and that's where a lot of the time can be made up. Josh Rowledge's fastest split was a 19.32 in the second split. His fastest in the third was a 20.38 incidentally. He's now just done a 21.45 in the first sector, so already very fast as Ivan Lomliev decides to go to the back of the queue, drops back into position on the road and shuffles his way down the order on the road, but that could benefit him in terms of his qualifying lap. If he gets good draft, then he will definitely be moving his way further forward. Now, Josh McLean is currently down in 12th position. I'm not entirely sure why his time is of a 1:06.38 has not been better. Dan Bolton goes to the top on a 1:01.21. That's going to be a very competitive lap time as Josh McLean goes 100th of a second faster than it. Rowledge goes third. Tomlinson is there in fourth position. Rowledge goes first. Rowledge on a 1:0.57. I did say 60 seconds would be the right sort of time for these karts going for pole position, and Rowledge has just done that. Rashan Chigarimbo has gone to second place, half a second back on a 1:01.13. So very good times then from Rowledge in the splits, and he was a little bit disgruntled when he watched the Super 1 preview from TDI Media. Alan Tadei was giving his tips, and he came to me earlier and said, why aren't I the favourite in X30 Minis? Come on, that's not fair. So he's obviously out to prove a point here in qualifying, Josh Rowledge. He wants to be the immediate favourite going away. And obviously to do that, he's having to put in a very fast time early on in proceedings to make sure that happens, and that he is definitely considered the favourite in the eyes of everyone here. So it's going to be an interesting battle as the weekend progresses. Josh Rowledge is the fastest. Dan Bolton pops up to second. McLean is now third ahead of it. Ivan Lomliev. So Ivan Lomliev up to third place. Then it's Bolton. Jessica Edgar, cousin of Johnny, of course. But Jessica Edgar in the Fusion Motorsport kart, racing in her own right. Chigarimbo comes back into the top six and goes fourth. That's a very good lap, actually. A 60.80. Josh Rowledge, though, that's 60.37 is the fastest of all. And 0.28 of a second ahead of Joshua McLean in the Fusion Motorsport kart. So Rowledge is currently the fastest with just over a minute to go. Now, it looks to me as though everybody out on the circuit at the moment is going to get one more timed lap in, and that's definitely going to make things pretty tight. The first one on the road is currently Daniel Bolton, although I think he's actually out of sync with everybody else. He came out a little bit after everybody else, so Oh no, he is the first in the queue, so I think everybody is going to get a flying lap in of the same amount. So Dan Bolton goes into his 6th and final qualifying lap. You only get time for 6 in a 6-minute session, of course. Josh Rowledge comes across the line, and he does not improve his best time, but it is matched by Jacob McComb, or at least his last lap was matched, I should say, by Jacob McComb, who goes second. So McComb is now second, 0.14. Fastest sector of all was set on that last lap, and that was Ivan Lomliev, who did a 21.14. That's pushed him up to 4th place in there behind Josh McLean. Then it's Rashan Chigarimbo in 5th. Dan Bolton is 6th from Jess Edgar, Oliver Duffel, Matthew Higgins, Harvey Ryby, Aaron Walker, and Freddie Tomlinson, the new recruit in the Fusion Motorsport kart. Checkered flag flies. We've run out of time, so now everybody who comes across the line will be finishing their qualifying laps. Very exciting stuff as the X30 Minis will finish up their first timed qualifying session of the 2018 season, and we will see how things currently stand. An average speed of 51.21 miles an hour for our current pole sitter Josh Rowledge. Over the line, Bolton will be no higher than 5th, but 5th is not bad. How many people are going to beat him though? Lomliev does, Edgar does, McLean goes second fastest. Across the line we go. Josh Rowledge pops up with a 60.24, saves his best lap till the last. And is there going to be one more final change? No, that is it. So Rowledge is fastest from Josh McLean in second. Jacob McComb is third ahead of Ivan Lomliev. Jessica Edgar in 5th from Daniel Bolton. Then Aaron Walker up to 7th from Rashan Chigarimbo, Oliver Duffel, Harvey Ryby, Matthew Higgins, and Freddie Tomlinson. Everybody getting 6 laps out of the board, and a very close start to the X30 Minis weekend. Brilliant stuff so far, but Josh Rowledge is at the top from McLean, McComb, Lomliev, Edgar, Bolton, Walker, Chigarimbo, Duffel, Ryby, Higgins, and Freddie Tomlinson. Cracking stuff then from the X30 Minis. They gave us some good entertainment there, as we expected they would do. And so the drivers are getting themselves ready for the next session, and that's not going to be too far away. Plenty of action to talk about here at the first weekend of the 2018 season. And obviously, where that came from, there's going to be an awful lot more to talk about. Brilliant stuff so far, and hopefully as the weekend progresses, there'll be even more to talk about. But it's a busy day at the office for qualifying here at PF International.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
With 30 years of racing experience, Cato Motorsport regularly takes young racers to the top step of the podium at Super 1, LDM, Rotax Cup, Kart Masters, and at karting clubs around the country. We provide race team services, driver training, kart preparation, awning space and more. Plus our drivers have gone on to race at the top level of British motorsport thanks to our tuition and guidance. So what are you waiting for? Head to catomotorsport.co.uk and join the success at KMS.
Sharma provides a wide range of logistics solutions to cater for all your needs, from a 2-man white glove home delivery to a full load covering the UK and Ireland. We have over 20 years experience in the logistics industry and maintain a large fleet of fully tracked vehicles and pride ourselves on our punctuality in delivering your consignment to its destination. So, whatever your delivery needs, call us now on 01652 638 317 or find us online at sharmalogistics.co.uk. Sharma Logistics, we can make it happen.
For engine tuning and building you can trust, Shocks Performance can get you to victory lane. We are British and Scottish champions, and we're always pushing to be better. We offer dyno facilities, engine tuning, ignition testing, reboring, machining, honing, carb rebuilds, you name it. We've got you covered. With years of expertise on Rotax, Coma, WTP, TKM and Formula Blue, we're the team for you. Head to shocksperformance.co.uk today.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna, you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
You're listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality and Trade Price Cars.
Getting ready for the next qualifying session here at PF International, the first round of the MSA British Super 1 Karting Championships of 2018 at the Paul Fletcher International Circuit here in the heart of the Trent Valley. An amazing start to the season from our Honda Cadets and our Mini X30s as well, with the Mini X30 qualifying session coming to an end in favour of Josh Rowledge on a 60.24 from Josh McLean, Jacob McComb, Ivan Lomliev, Jessica Edgar and Daniel Bolton in the top 6, then Aaron Walker, Rashan Chigarimbo, Oliver Duffel, Harvey Ryby, Matthew Higgins and Freddie Tomlinson. Great battle and only 1.3 seconds between them all. It means it's going to be a very hectic start to the season for the Mini X30 Brigade, and great battles. Hello to all of you listening around the circuit here at PF International. It's a gorgeous sunny afternoon. It's not particularly warm yet, but hopefully as the weekend progresses we'll get a little bit more of that sunshine. Hopefully it will not affect us too much, the inclement weather that is said to be coming over the circuit at some point tomorrow. We hope it's not going to be too wet. We would like a pure fight over the course of the weekend, unharried by wet conditions, but hopefully it's going to be an exciting battle no matter what happens. So the Rotax classes are coming tomorrow. We have more from the Cadets and X30s over the course of today. And we've got plenty of great races to come over the course of tomorrow and Sunday. We are live for both days, trackside here at PF International, and of course on Downforce UK as well. So you can listen wherever you are in the world. And do please tell mum and dad and aunt and uncle and cousin and granny, wherever they might be, even if they're on the other side of the planet, they can still listen in live or post live as well, because all you have to do is head to the downforceracing.uk website and you can hear all of the action back again anytime, day or night, and you can even download it and keep it. You're absolutely welcome to. So it's very exciting stuff as the battles continue around the 2018 British Super 1 Karting Championships. We've got the MSA British Championships for Army Cadet, of course, and various championships, of course, for the other competitions as well. But it is all very, very, very exciting stuff, considering that we've got a host of drivers who are starting their karting careers at national level for the very first time with this first round of the championship. It's all going to become very, very intense and exciting for these guys as they take their first steps into international competition. And we're going to have some pretty exciting racing from the drivers this weekend. Just to give you an idea of how it all starts, well, we're going to have more timed qualifying in the morning tomorrow. And then we're going to have a section of 23 races. Can you believe that? 23 races over the course of tomorrow. And 23 races for one slightly tubby commentator is going to be incredibly exhausting work. But we will do our best to keep up to date with it as it all happens. We have got the Army Cadet session coming out shortly. That is going to be at about 5:15. So in about 2 minutes' time, the Army Cadets will come out onto the circuit. And then we have the Junior X30 session at about 5:30. 6 minutes after that, the second Junior X30 group will come out, and then at 10 to 6 it will be the Senior X30s qualifying session, and then we will wrap up for the day's proceedings. But it is going to be a very exciting stuff. For all those in the paddock, do please, of course, remember to go upstairs and get your filming done. That is just above the pits. You need to go up to that building and go and see TDI Media, and Alan Tadiai is there. He will take your blue screen and green screen shots for the television program. If you don't go, then you won't have your pictures on television. It is as simple as that. And for your sponsors and your teams and your partners, that might not be the best bet. So if I were you, I'd go up there and get it sorted. He is there till 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But basically, if you don't have your picture there, then Alan may accidentally film himself and replace you. And that's not what anybody wants to see. Sorry, Alan. Cheap shot. I know, but it's funny. Anyway, so we'll move on in about a minute's time to the Army Cadet session, which again promises to be a very exciting campaign in the 2018 season. We've heard from the Honda Cadets. Well, the Army Cadets going to be an interesting one as well, with several of the top seeds from 2017 back again in the 2018 season. The O-plate from last year, Freddie Slater, representing Fusion Motorsport, the young man from Edstone, is coming out again. Arvid Lindblad, last year's spectacular runner-up for Oliver Rowland Motorsport, did a cracking job in the 2017 season. He is, ipso facto, the championship favourite coming into the 2018 season by virtue of the fact that he is the number 2 seed, but he's going to have a lot of challenge from the 2017 season coming back at him. We've got Maxwell Dodds, Josh Irfan, William McIntyre, Sam Shaw and Luke Watts, all within that top 10 in 2017, and they're all going to be back with a vengeance this season as we gear ourselves up for the first time qualifying session for Army Cadet. But just because we've got the seeded drivers, we've also got quite a lot of other drivers trying to make their impression in the first part of the season as well. 6 minutes have gone on the clock, and we are going to get ready for the green flag above the timing gantry any moment now, and we get the green flag, so let's get time qualifying underway for the Army Cadets. They come out onto the circuit en masse. It almost looks like racing, never mind qualifying. And so let's talk you through the list of drivers entered for this weekend. Oh, we've got 2 or 3 of them off the circuit on the way to the Litchfield Bridge. This is qualifying, guys. Come on. That got a little bit hectic, but all of the drivers that have spun off have managed to get going again. It's not even greasy, the conditions out here, so I'm not entirely sure what happened. But anyway, perhaps pre-race jitters and nerves getting the better of some of our Army Cadets. Anyway, it looks as though everybody's come back onto the circuit without damage, which is great news. So it looks like their qualifying can continue as originally planned, as they all jostle for track position. The list of drivers is as follows. The O plate, Freddie Slater. Number 2, Arvid Lindblad. 3 is Maxwell Dodds. 4 is Josh Irfan. 7 is Josh Irfan, I should say. 8 is William McIntyre. 9 is Sam Shaw. 10 is Luke Watts, 11 is Oliver Wright, 12 is Harley Keeble, 13 is Mondi Junior Canini, 14 is Kai Bacchini, 15 is Max Barrow, 20 is Harley Horton, 21 is Charlie Rippin, Ashton Hodgson is 24, 25 is Brandon Carr, 28 is Ella Stevens, 33 is Jacob Baldry, 37 is Leo Robinson, 43 is Archie Clark, 44 is the Canadian Hadi Mamasi, 50 is Edu Robinson, 57 is Aidan Neat, 68 is Harry Burgoyne Jr., 71 is Luke Sindler, 72 is Ian Aguilera from Mexico, 77 is Bart Harrison, 87 is Vinnie Phillips, 88 is Benjamin Doughty, 90 is Jack Younger, and 93 is Maximus Hall. Going to be an exciting battle as the 30 drivers out on circuit now are battling away, and I had noticed actually that one of them is missing, and that is Josh Irfan, so I'm not entirely sure what has happened to the number 7. I'm not sure he's actually been here over the course of proceedings, but the young man from London who has obviously been making a name for himself in the Super 1 British Esports Championship on Wednesday night, it doesn't appear to be that he is here at the moment, or certainly not in this session, so we'll try and keep you up to date with that as the weekend progresses. I'm afraid I haven't heard anything on that score, so maybe somebody can enlighten me as the weekend progresses. But out on the circuit, they have done their first lap. I wouldn't necessarily call it a flying lap as such, because of course it's going to be a few seconds slower than their flying laps, which is what they're on now. Purple in the first sector, that is Maximus Hall. Purple in the second sector is Harley Keeble on a 21.81. So this is going to be interesting as they come across the line. The first flying lap is Keeble on a 109.63. It's immediately beaten by William McIntyre. Lindblad is in there in third from Phillips, Rippin, Carr, Neat, Robinson, Hall, Max Dodds in 10th. Up to 7th comes Freddie Slater, the O plate, so he's right in there. And Luke Watts, the number 10 seed, ironically shoots up into 10th place. So really good start to proceedings. At the end of the first flying laps then, it's McIntyre from Keeble, Lindblad, Phillips, Rippin, Carr, Slater, Aidan Neat, Leo Robinson and Luke Watts. Now, a warning flag appears to have been given to the 72. That is Ian Aguilera, the young Mexican who is one of the rookies, I believe, in this class. Yes, indeed. So he's going to really struggle if he gets more warnings like that. Well, just outside the top 10, we've got Maximus Hall in 11th place. Max Dodds is 12th, and it's Sam Shaw, Harley Horton, Ella Stevens, the reigning Birrell UK Cadet Champion, is 15th. Then it's Harry Burgoyne Jr., Ashton Hodgson, Bart Harrison, Mondi Junior Canini, who I'm forevermore referring to as MJ Canini in 19th position. Then it's Kai Bacchini, Oliver Wright, Luke Sindler from Archie Clark, Max Barrow, Ben Doughty, Hardy Mamasi, Jack Younger, Ian Aguilera, Edu Robinson and Jacob Baldry. They come through for the end of their second flying laps, and Lindblad goes to the top on a 68.76. He is 1/10 of a second ahead of William McIntyre. Max Dodds comes up to third. Aidan Neat is straight up there into fourth position as well. And up into second place comes Freddie Slater. So it's Lindblad, Slater, McIntyre, Dodds and Aidan Neat. Well, there's a surname that we know well from the worlds of motor racing. Neat, of course. Andy Neat was a former British touring car and brick car racer, and he has got his son even faster than him, apparently. Aidan Neat is going to be one of the stars of this 2018 season. And he's going to get himself very far up the grid with that time as he continues to push on. Fastest in the first split, though, is Max Dodds on a 24.37, which is a couple of tenths of a second faster than Lindblad has managed on this flying lap. So Dodds looks like he's about to shoot himself up to the top of the table. We'll see if anybody's going particularly fast in the second split. Yes, Dodds again on a 21.40. So Dodds is fastest of all in the first sector, fastest of all in the second sector. So as they come through at the end of the lap, it looks to me as though if he's held it together in the third sector, it could be Max Dodds who goes to the top of the timesheets. Let's see, as across the line, Lindblad has been beaten by McIntyre. McIntyre goes fastest of all. Robinson goes second. Dodds goes to the top. It's a perfect lap for Max Dodds. 1:08.18. That is a great run. 0.3 of a second faster than Freddie Slater, as the 15 has been given a warning. That's Max Barrow. So Max Barrow, for some reason, has been given a warning flag. I wonder if that's track limits. As of course they're quite stringent on this at cadet level. You have to make sure that you get this now, otherwise you're just going to be in bad habits for the rest of your career. Now, there's quite a few drivers who are running together at the front. That looks to me like Arvid Lindblad. The 6 is in there as well, is that? My apologies, that's the 8. That's William McIntyre. We don't have a 6. 25 is in that mix as well. That's Brandon Carr, who did so well at the SK USA Nationals a few months ago. So it's already going very well indeed for that group of 4 or 5. The 44's just been given a warning flag. That's Hadi Mamasi, the Canadian, who is 28th at the moment. So Mamasi, I'm not sure what that's for, but was given a warning for it. And we've got a few drivers running around towards the back. The time is going to tick down, and there's not going to be a single one who'll get another lap in. So there we go. They finish up. McIntyre ahead of Lindblad, Carr and Keeble. And Max Dodds remains at the top. No improvements from the leaders, although Freddie Slater comes up to 4th place in the end. Is there going to be anybody else moving their way forward? Oh, a couple of changes for Bacchini up to 16th, Barrow up to 18th. Jack Younger's moved up a few places as well towards the tail end, but they've all made a pretty good start in their Super 1 Army Cadet careers in 2018 as Max Dodds emerges as the top. 0.17 seconds faster than William McIntyre. Arvid Lindblad is 3rd from Freddie Slater. Maximus Hall is 5th from Brandon Carr. Harley Keeble, Sam Shaw, Leo Robinson, and rounding out the top 10 is Aidan Neat. Then it is Vinnie Phillips ahead of Harley Horton, Luke Watts, Charlie Rippin, Harry Burgoyne Jr., Kai Bacchini, Oliver Wright in 17th from Max Barrow, Ashton Hodgson, Bart Harrison, Ella Stevens, Mondi Jr. Canini, Ian Aguilera, Luke Sindler, Jack Younger, Hadi Mamasi, Ben Doughty, Archie Clark, Edu Robinson, and Jacob Baldry. So that's your run of drivers. The entire field covered by less than 4 seconds, considering that some of these guys are doing national racing at this level for the very first time in their careers. I think taking a bow is definitely deserved at that point. So very well done indeed to the Army Cadets. We've got about 8 minutes or so now, just under actually, before we get the Junior X30s out onto the grid. And this could take a while because they're in 2 grids, of course, so they're both going to get 6 minutes of qualifying out onto the circuit. And it's going to be interesting to see how they will cope under the conditions. There's so many of them battling away for the fastest time. So we'll take a quick pause, and then when we come back, there will be more cracking action from the PF International Circuit for the first round of the 2018 Super 1 Series.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
With 30 years of racing experience, Cato Motorsport regularly takes young racers to the top step of the podium at Super 1, LZM, Rotax Cup, Kart Masters, and at karting clubs around the country. We provide race team services, driver training, kart preparation, awning space and more. Plus our drivers have gone on to race at the top level of British motorsport thanks to our tuition and guidance. So what are you waiting for? Head to catomotorsport.co.uk and join the success at KMS.
Sharma provides a wide range of logistics solutions to cater for all your needs. From a 2-man white glove home delivery to a full load covering the UK and Ireland. We have over 20 years experience in the logistics industry and maintain a large fleet of fully tracked vehicles and pride ourselves on our punctuality in delivering your consignment to its destination. So, whatever your delivery needs, call us now on 01652 638 317 or find us online at sharmalogistics.co.uk. Sharma Logistics, we can make it happen.
For
engine tuning and building you can trust, Shocks Performance can get you to victory lane. We are British and Scottish champions, and we're always pushing to be better. We offer dyno facilities, engine tuning, ignition testing, reboring, machining, honing, carb rebuilds, you name it, we've got you covered. With years of expertise on Rotax, Coma, WTP, TKM and Formula Blue, we're the team for you. Head to shocksperformance.co.uk today.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
You're listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality and Trade Price Cars.
Just a few minutes away from our next qualifying session, which will be the first of our two groups of junior X30s, senior X30s after that, at round about 10 minutes to 6. But just to give you an update on what you've missed if you've only just joined us, Army Cadet finishes in favour of Max Dodds, who gets the fastest time in a 68.18 second lap, just ahead of William McIntyre. Arvid Lindblad in third place from the O-Plate, Freddie Slater. Maximus Hall in fifth, ahead of Brandon Carr. Then Harley Keeble, Sam Shaw, Leo Robinson and Aidan Neat rounding out the top 10 ahead of Vinnie Phillips and Harley Horton. Luke Watts, the 10, is 13th, and then 21, Charlie Rippin is 14th. Then it's Harry Burgoyne Jr., Kai Bacchini, Oliver Wright, Max Barrow, Ashton Hodgson and Bart Harrison rounding out the top 20. Then it is Ella Stevens ahead of Mondi Junior Canini. Ian Aguilera is 23rd from Luke Sindler. Jack Younger is 25th from Hadi Mamasi. Then Benjamin Doughty, Archie Clark, Edu Robinson and Jacob Baldry rounds out the field of 30. A very competitive field indeed for this year's Army Cadet Championships, and we're all very excited indeed about how this is going to play out. So we've got good battles coming up over the course of the rest of the session from Junior X30 and Senior X30. Just opportunity while we're in our slight downtime between sessions to remind you of what is happening here at PF International over the course of the next few months. If you're Lincolnshire based and you're wanting to get more into your motorsport, well, there's plenty of opportunities to come and watch all of the best action around the PF International circuit with the Trent Valley Kart Club. The club championship continues after this weekend on the 6th of May. Then, of course, it's not going to be too long before the CIK FIA European Championships come here for the 16th to the 20th of May. It's going to be a really exciting week, that one, and one of the highlights of the calendar for the Trent Valley Karting Club. Then, of course, it's the big one after that as far as the clubs are concerned, including Ladies' Day, round 3 of the championship, but it's also the X30 Senior and X30 Junior O-Plate on the 3rd of June here at PF International. That's going to be a really exciting meeting with some of the top drivers in Europe going to be competing in that one. It's strictly limited, of course, to just 60 drivers per class. National B licence holders upwards are welcome, of course, as well. So if you're thinking of getting into X30 and you want to go for the O-Plate, well, it's a great opportunity. Head to the website, tvkc.co.uk. All of the details are on there. You need to make sure your entries are in, by the way, by the 2nd of May by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Entries will close on the 29th of May at 1 o'clock unless grids are already full before that date. So that's when the entry opens, my apologies. Entry opens on the 2nd of May at 1 o'clock. It will close on the 29th at the same time, unless grids have already filled up. And we're expecting full capacity grids pretty much within the first couple of weeks. So if I were you, I would get onto that quickly. But that is going to be the 3rd of June. It's also coupled with Ladies' Day, actually. There's going to be an opportunity to donate £5 to receive an exclusive kart sticker and be considered for the Driver of the Day award. The lucky winner receives a free entry to the MSA Kartmasters British Grand Prix. That's not a bad prize at all, is it? You can also donate £2 to enter the special sweepstake and have the chance of winning a fabulous box of 12 cupcakes. You can basically glam up for Ladies' Day, join in the fun and come dressed in your Sunday best. Oh, and men have to dress in pink. That's a rule, okay? That's not advisable. Men have to come dressed in pink. So I'm hoping Force India give me a shirt by then, because then I'll be able to. Perfect. So hopefully if that happens, then we're going to be seeing rather a lot of men around the circuit on the O-Plate weekend in pink. And that's drivers as well. Yes, if you can dip your white race suits in red dye just a couple of days before, that'd be great. And then you can all have pink race suits. Anyway, the 1st of July is when Super 1 and the Club Championship returns. Super 1 for the OK at senior and junior level. And of course, round 4 of the Club Championship, that's July the 1st. Then, of course, it is the big one on the first weekend of August. That is, of course, from the 2nd to the 5th, and that is the MSA Kartmasters British Kart Grand Prix. Everybody wants to come to that one, and everybody wants to win it in the world of British motorsport at karting level, various classes, but of course the MSA Kartmasters British Kart Grand Prix is the highlight of the British calendar. Then we have the Club Championship returning on the 2nd of September. The Super 1 Series will close on the 28th to 30th of September, and we'll be live for that one as well. Massive thanks to Sam Jenkins Motorsport for supporting us with that one. Then we have the 7th of October. The Club Championship continues for Trent Valley Kart Club, round 6. And then round 7, to conclude the season, is on the 4th of November. So that's one to book in your diaries if you're local. But then, of course, if you're wondering, is there any racing over the winter? Of course there is. This is British karting. You don't stop for snow. You don't stop for rain. You just get on with it. On the 1st and 2nd of December, the Winter Series will kick off for round 1. Any more details, of course, you can find them on the website, tvkc.co.uk. I've rambled enough. The Junior X30s are getting out onto the circuit, so let's go qualifying once again. Here are our Junior X30s in the first time qualifying group. The 15 is Dylan Cooper, the 16 is Shane White, 17 is Alex Lay, 18 is Eduardo Cosateng, 19 is William Ellswood, 20 is Alicia Barrett, 22 is Tyler Reid, 23 is Georgi Dimitrov, 25 is Casper Stevenson, 29 is Lewis Gilbert, 47 is Alex Flame, 48 is Alex Lloyd, 51 is Sam Hawthorne, 54 is Theo Edgerton, 55 is Teddy Pritchard Williams, 57 is Sam Heading, 66 is Max Meir, 75 is Clayton Ravenscroft, 82 is Matthias Salonen, 86 is Aaron Walker, and 95 is Nelson King. So some great racing expected. A few names that have already written some headlines over the course of the last few weeks. None the least, of course, is Clayton Ravenscroft, the 75, who in his European campaign, he started it in the best possible way at Valencia back in February when he lifted the IAMI X30 Senior Winter Cup out of the Lucas Guerrero International Circuit in Valencia in Spain 2 months ago. And he's out there with his new teammate, Lewis Gilbert, who took the first round of the IAMI X30 European Championship at Junior X30 level at Sal Breeze 2 weeks ago. So these two have started their European campaigns perfectly, but it's the British Championship, probably even more competitive from their point of view than the European Series, because these are the guys they've grown up with, they've raced with week in, week out, day in, day out for the last 5 years, and these guys will know these racers that they're competing with very well indeed. So Ravenscroft and Lewis Gilbert are going to be running around the circuit together in unison, the two KR Sport drivers, starting their 2018 campaigns on a high. There's plenty of other drivers out there who could be worth a watch. In particular, Alicia Barrett, who's really come on leaps and bounds in the last few weeks, acquitted herself very well out in Europe, but here in Britain has yet to taste the top step of the podium in the British Championships. But now with Fusion Motorsport, she genuinely has a great opportunity to do that. And there's plenty of drivers out there who could play a starring role. Alex Lloyd, who so very nearly beat Marley Boyer out in Spain at the early point of the year, and definitely was his closest opposition. Across the line they come at the end of the second lap, and it's Shane White who goes the fastest in the Litchfield Motorsport kart. A shave over 60 seconds there, 60.02. So in the second qualifying lap, we're going to go sub 60 no matter what happens, I'm sure. Axel Herler-Flem has gone second fastest. Then we have Clayton Ravenscroft in third from Lewis Gilbert, Sam Heading, Dylan Cooper, Tyler Reid, Nelson King, Alex Lloyd and Alex Lay rounding out the top 10. Then we have Casper Stevenson from Alicia Barrett, Matthias Salonen, the Finnish racer, along with Aaron Walker, Max Meir, William Ellswood, Teddy Pritchard Williams, Theo Edgerton, Samuel Hawthorne and Eduardo Cosateng. No sign of Georgi Dimitrov, interestingly. So Georgi Dimitrov, the Bulgarian who races under British licence, of course, I'm not entirely sure if he has made his way out of the pits at all. So Georgi Dimitrov, that is an interesting one. Not entirely sure what has kept him at bay, but I've not heard anything as yet that would suggest a delay. But the young man from Newmarket has not come out onto the circuit. Has he got major problems? So difficulties then for Dimitrov, it would seem. Shane White, though, is the fastest of all. A 59.11. There we go. We saw sub 60 threatened on the last lap. It's absolutely demolished in this one. 59.11 for Shane White from Tyler Reid. Alex Lloyd now third. Sam Heading, Lewis Gilbert, Axel Herler-Flem, and then Matthias Salonen, Clayton Ravenscroft, Alex Lay and Nelson King. It's a complete shuffle of the deck in the top 10. Fastest in the first sector, though, is Tyler Reid with 2:05 on the clock. Tyler Reid, a 20.73 second time there in the first split. So all going well from his point of view. And there's going to be some cracking action as things develop. Still awaiting some fast times. Are we going to get sub 59? It wouldn't surprise me at all across the line. And 59.05 from Ravenscroft as he goes fastest of all from White and his teammate Lewis Gilbert. Tyler Reid is fourth. Lloyd heading. Up to sixth place comes Alicia Barrett. Great work from her. Up to third comes Matthias Salonen. Salonen is straight up into third. Great work from the Finn. So only a minute and a half to go, and that's, in my book, time for the large majority of the field to get 2 more laps in. I'm not entirely sure how many we'll get to. Possibly we may even get a third lap in for some of them, including this lap, of course. Not the fastest of laps for Shane White that time by. He was over 60 seconds for the lap that time. But a 59.05 puts Clayton Ravenscroft at the top of the pile for the moment, from White, Salonen, Gilbert, Reid, Lloyd, Barrett, Heading, Lay and Laflamme. So it's an interesting one with a minute to go. We've got the leading pair on the road. That's Ravenscroft and Gilbert, clearly working together to get up to the front end of the field in this first of the time qualifying groups in Junior X30. And they go faster still. 58s from both of them. Wow! Down to the 100th of a second. They are exactly the same. 58.87. Their final sector time was absolutely identical, but they've now been beaten by Lloyd, who is fastest, Salonen, who is second, Laflamme, who is third, and White, who is fourth. Talk about drama in this qualifying session. It just keeps getting better. More times coming in, and we're now into the 58.6s for Alex Lloyd, who is fastest of all, 0.16 ahead of Salonen and Laflamme, who both have a 58.82. Ravenscroft and Gilbert both have a 58.87, but faster than both of them is Shane White on a 58.85. That is amazing. There's only 0.05 of a second covering 5 karts. That is Salonen, Laflamme, White, Ravenscroft and Gilbert. And they're only 0.16 behind the fastest man. That's Alex Lloyd. So it could still go anybody's way. We've got an off on the final turn there. Not sure who that is, but across the line, Gilbert's faster than Ravenscroft. 0.07 off Alex Lloyd's time. William Ellswood goes to the top, but that looks to me like that's a false lap. So 52.73. That is not going to work, is it, as a lap time? So no, Ellswood's going to get that one docked. So that means it's Lloyd from Gilbert and Ravenscroft. Salonen is going to be fourth. Then it is going to be Laflamme. Yes, there is William Ellswood's time deleted. So it's Lloyd from Gilbert, Ravenscroft, Salonen, Laflamme. White is sixth from Sam Heading, Alex Lay, Tyler Reid and Casper Stevenson, with Alicia Barrett in 11th from Nelson King, Max Meir, Teddy Pritchard-Williams, Dylan Cooper, Sam Hawthorne, William Ellswood, Theo Edgerton, Aaron Walker and Eduardo Cosateng, with no Georgi Dimitrov. And amazingly, there was only, less than 0.2 of a second covering the top 6. Lloyd, Gilbert, Ravenscroft, Salonen, Laflamme and White. That is why I love Junior X30, and I love it with my whole heart and every fibre of my being. It really is spectacular stuff. It's great racing right from the word go, and they really do put on a spectacular show. They always do. So now we get the second group of time qualifying too, and 6 minutes have already got onto the clock, which means they're going to come out very rapidly indeed, and they're going to be led out by the Italian, the E-Plate, the English national champion, Alessandro Seranetti, who is based here in the UK, of course. So the drivers come out onto the circuit, headed out by the man from Stratford-upon-Avon, the Italian, Alessandro Seranetti, the E-Plate. The 3 is Reggie Dewey, 4 is Dragon Pinsent, 7 is Luke Whitehead, 11 is Rufus Hunt, 12 is Alex Walker, 21 is Joseph Taylor, 27 is Joshua Rattican, 28 is Adam Malaliu, 41 is Matthew Hudson, 42 is Caden McQueen, 52 is Tom Edgar, 63 is Oliver Gray, 64 is Ali Akabi, 77 is Douglas Bolger, 79 is Lewis Thompson, 87 is Oliver Bierman, 91 is Tom Mills, and 99 is Louis Short. So drivers getting themselves into track position as the time starts to tick down. Drivers will want to get the best laps they possibly can. There's 3 or 4 drivers just running around in the second group of karts as drivers are jostling for track position. They always do this in qualifying as they want to be in a position where they are swarming around with other karts, but they don't want to get held up by them. That's the key element there. You want track space. You want to be able to work with the other drivers around you, but at the same time you also don't want to get held up. That's going to be the interesting one. So Ciananetti, the Italian, who was voted the Downforce Radio Kart Racer of the Year last year and did an absolutely cracking job. Now, there's been an off on the final turn. That is the 28 of Adam Malaliu, the young man from Barbados, who has had a little bit of an off there. So he continues on his way. But Tom Edgar, no relation to Johnny, we are told, but Tom Edgar, the young man from Northern Ireland, is leading the way at the top of the table after his first flying lap. And then Lewis Thompson comes through. Lewis Thompson on the Birrell Arch chassis. Lewis Thompson, the 79, goes top on a 105.49. And that is 0.37 seconds faster than Tom Edgar has managed. So a lightning lap time from Thompson. He is fastest in this group from Edgar, Hudson, Ratican, Serenetti, Doohy, Taylor, Walker, Hunt and Oliver Behrman. Then it's Gray, Whitehead, Pinsent, Bulger, McQueen, Mills, Short, Akabi and Malaliu. So as the drivers get themselves up to speed, they'll be trying to get a few more lap times in. And Lewis Thompson at the back of the field, back of the road, I should say, is currently top of the timesheets. Although fastest in the first sector was Serenetti this time by Caden McQueen, purple in the second sector. So this is definitely going to change over the line. And fastest is now McQueen. Caden McQueen is a 59.93 from Ratican, Hudson, Whitehead. Up to third comes Joe Taylor. Fourth is now Reggie Dewey. So Caden McQueen from Ratican, Taylor, Dewey, Hudson, Whitehead. Ali Akabi is up to seventh. Make that eighth because Lewis Thompson has broken back into third place with a 60.07. Very exciting stuff then in this Junior X30 second time group. McQueen is top though. Ratican, Thompson, Taylor, Dewey, Hudson, Whitehead, Akabi, Oliver Gray, Rufus Hunt, Oliver Behrman and Dragon Pinson all within a second. That's the top 12. Then Louis Short from Alessandro Serenetti, Tom Mills, Douglas Bolger, Tom Edgar, Alex Walker and Adam Malaliu. Great battle so far, as there's plenty of top talent in this field, even outside the top 10. We've got Louis Short out there very close to Alessandro Serenetti. Louis Short was one of the nominees for the Downforce UK's Autism Awareness Award last year, sponsored by the National Autistic Society. He's a very talented young racer, is Louis Short, and I know they've worked very hard indeed to get his funding together for the 2018 season, and it's great to see him out there battling for position, especially now he's very nearly broken himself into the top 10. His countryman Alessandro Serenetti has in the top 6, but Thompson goes through fastest of all, the 59.12 from Behrman, Reggie Dewey, Joe Taylor, Josh Ratican, Serenetti, Edgar, Gray, Hudson, Pinsent. Then it's Rufus Hunt from Luke Whitehead, Louis Short. Caden McQueen is 14th now, would you believe, having been at the top at one stage. Then it's Tom Mills, Alex Walker, Ali Akabi, Douglas Bolger and Adam Malaliu. So Lewis Thompson on his own, not in the gaggle, is currently the fastest of them all. He seems to have gotten himself a great bit of clear track. Fastest of all in the second sector, though, is Oliver Behrman. He's gone purple on that split, so he is definitely looking to improve. We've got just under 2 minutes left of the second time qualifying group of Junior X30. They come out of the final turn and down the main straight once again, and leading the queue is the number 4 of Dragon Pinson, who comes back into the top 6 briefly because Behrman goes first and Gray goes second. Well, I was going to break into a musical then, because it was Oliver in first and second place, but it's Oliver Behrman now with Oliver Gray down to 6th place as Thompson breaks into second, Reggie Dewey in third, Alessandro Serenetti has come up to 4th place, Tom Edgar is there in 5th place in the 52, then it's Oliver Gray, Rufus Hunt, Alex Walker, Luke Whitehead and Joseph Taylor, then Dragon Pinson's down to 11th as a result of that shuffle, Josh Ratican is 12th, then it's Tom Mills, Louis Short, Matthew Hudson, Ali Akabi, Caden McQueen, Douglas Bolger and Adam Malaliu. The entire group is now covered by less than 2 seconds. Very tight battle as it is. But Oliver Behrman has gone purple in the second sector again. Fastest of all in the first sector, though, is Oliver Gray. He's not had the greatest second split, though. So Oliver Gray's not going to have the perfect lap time this time by. And they're running out of time to get it done. 45 seconds to go. This is going to be the last time lap for everybody. Now Caden McQueen comes back and has done a 58.85. That's 1/100 of a second slower than Gray. Tom Edgar goes fastest of all. So Tom Edgar has gone to the top. Tom Edgar leads. Thompson's now second again. 0.19 back. Same time to the 100th as Oliver Gray. 1/100 of a second quicker than Caden McQueen. 1 more 100th of a second quicker than Oliver Behrman. Very close indeed. So it's Edgar, Thompson, Gray, McQueen, Behrman, Dewey, Serenetti, Taylor, Ratican and Rufus Hunt rounding out the top 10. Then it's Whitehead, Mills, Walker, Short, Pinson, Bolger, Hudson, Akabi and Malaliu. And we run down to the time, 3 seconds left, 2, 1. Checkered flag will fly this time by, but Tom Edgar is going to come across the line with a big battle on his hands because Thompson, Gray, McQueen and Behrman are all within about 0.2 of a second back. In fact, there's half a second covering the first 12. It could go anybody's way. Across the line they come. Is there an improvement for the fastest time? Not as yet. Gray, McQueen. Now Joe Taylor goes fastest. Senonetti goes third. So Taylor is fastest. It's all down to Lewis Thompson. Can he go fastest of all? No, not quite. But it's Joseph Taylor who goes fastest in the second group. Joseph Taylor ahead of Tom Edgar, Alessandro Senonetti, a brilliant run for the E-plate. Lewis Thompson is fourth from Oliver Gray, Caden McQueen in sixth from Oliver Behrman, Dragon Pinson, Reggie Dewey and Josh Radican rounding out the top 10. From Luke Whitehead, Louis Short, Rufus Hunt, Tom Mills, Ali Akabi, Alex Walker, Douglas Bolger, Matthew Hudson and the man from Barbados, Adam Malaliu. 1.86 seconds covers the whole grid. Fantastic. That's what we love about Senior X30. It really is magnificent. And Bud Cole writing on the Spreaker stream. Great to see Oliver Gray proving his cadet days weren't a fluke. You're absolutely right. He was the Birrell Art UK Series cadet champion and has come into the National Series with Thule Motorsport and is still very strong indeed. He's there in the top 5, just 0.25, a quarter of a second off the pace of pole position. And that's the same time down to the 100th of a second as Lewis Thompson in 4th. It's a 100th of a second faster than Caden McQueen. Another 100th faster than Oliver Behrman, another 100th faster than Dragon Pinson, and another 200ths faster than Reggie Dewey and Josh Ratican. Exactly 0.3 of a second cover the top 10. That is astonishing. Brilliant stuff. And that's what we get at PF International. Those long straights, fast sweeping turns, and technical challenges in the first section and the mid-section really do open up the taps and show these guys what they're made of. Brilliant stuff. So we've got just under 5 minutes before the Senior X30 session gets underway, and that will be our last qualifying before we wrap up proceedings on this Friday afternoon here at PF International. So we'll come back in just a moment and we'll conclude the day with Senior X30 qualifying.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
With 30 years of racing experience, Cato Motorsport regularly takes young racers to the top step of the podium at Super 1, LZM, Rotax Cup, Kart Masters and at karting clubs around the country. We provide race team services, driver training, kart preparation, awning space and more. Plus our drivers have gone on to race at the top level of British motorsport thanks to our tuition and guidance. So what are you waiting for? Head to catomotorsport.co.uk and join the success at KMS.
Sharma provides a wide range of logistics solutions to cater for all your needs. From a 2-man white glove home delivery to a full load covering the UK and Ireland. We have over 20 years experience in the logistics industry and maintain a large fleet of fully tracked vehicles and pride ourselves on our punctuality in delivering your consignment to its destination. So, whatever your delivery needs, call us now on 01652 638 317 or find us online at sharmalogistics.co.uk. Sharma Logistics, we can make it happen.
For engine tuning and building you can trust, Shocks Performance can get you to victory lane. We are British and Scottish champions and we're always pushing to be better. We offer dyno facilities, engine tuning, ignition testing, reboring, machining, honing, carb rebuilds, you name it. We've got you covered. With years of expertise on Rotax, Coma, WTP, TKM and Formula Blue, we're the team for you. Head to shocksperformance.co.uk today.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
You're listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality and Trade Price Cars.
So just one more session to go then here at PF International, and Joseph Taylor and Tom Edgar are the fastest in their second time group of Junior X30s, ahead of Alessandro Serenetti, Lewis Thompson, Oliver Gray, Caden McQueen, Oliver Behrman, Dragon Pinsent, Reggie Dewey and Josh Rattigan, 0.3 of a second between those 10. Luke Whitehead is next from Louis Short, Rufus Hunt, Tom Mills, Ali Akabi, Alex Walker and Douglas Bolger down to 17th. That's a second covering the top 17 karts in that group. Then Matthew Hudson and the Barbados racer Adam Malaliu in 19th position. It really is fantastic, fast, furious, frenetic stuff here at the PF International Circuit. You're listening to the first round of the 2018 Super 1 Series British Karting Championships, and we are here on the Friday afternoon for qualifying time sessions for the cadets groups that have already finished for Honda and IAMI, and then of course we've had the Junior X30s. We're now going to finish the day with the Senior X30s, and there really is an incredible crop of drivers in this grid. Some of the best drivers in their craft are here, and they are going to continue on their progression up the ladder. There are 4 rookies in the field in the 2018 season, namely Scott Jackson, Mo Ibrahim, Sky Siddle and Cole Kilner. So they will be battling away for the IAMI X30 Senior Rookie category. But now we're going to get ourselves underway with this fantastic group of drivers aged 16 plus battling to become the British IAMI X30 Senior Champion of the 2018 season. And it's 6 minutes more on the clock as we finish our day of action here at the PF International Circuit, hosted of course by the Trent Valley Kart Club, who have put on a magnificent display so far over the last couple of days of testing and qualifying. But the racing itself gets started tomorrow, and we're going to conclude our day with the final 6 minutes of time qualifying for today. There's more time qualifying tomorrow, of course, which we will bring you from the Rotax classes. But now the green flag flies from the pits and the Senior X30 timed qualifying session begins. And it's all quiet on the Western Front as everybody in Senior X30 seems to do the same thing. They wait to see who goes out first. It's a game of chicken in the pit lane at the moment as everybody decides, well, who's going first? Who's going to start their engine? If we wait too long, we're going to get one less lap in qualifying. In fact, that's already happening because there's only now 5.5 minutes to go. Half a minute has already gone in the session and not a single driver has gone out. It's mind games and psychology in Senior X30, as we've seen so many times in the past, as these drivers wait to see who blinks first. So the drivers are getting themselves ready to go, and one of them eventually is going to hit that starter motor. Well, this technically should have been a 5-minute qualifying session, shouldn't it? Because we've had an entire minute. It's like Formula 1 in the 90s in their qualifying sessions. You used to wait about half an hour before drivers came out in a 1-hour session. And they're a bit like journalists, Senior X30s. They all hunk together and wait for something to happen. They never go out. We've got Mr. Starter here, having watched the time tick down. 1 minute and 10 seconds has gone, and still nobody's got out onto the circuit. This is magnificent as they wait for their moment to go out. Eventually, someone's got to come out onto the circuit, but no, they're all waiting. Well, eventually this is going to be a 4.5 minute qualifying session, and the first one to blink eventually is the 19 of Matt Armstrong, and then look at that, they all swarm out. It's mind games and psychology again. None of them are willing to go out. It only really happens at senior level. At senior level, they just seem to wait to see who's going out first, and then they all blitz out together. It's a common story. Anyway, let's run you through the list of entrants for this first round of the 2018 Super 1 Series at Senior X30 class. Number 2 is Oliver Hodgson. 3 is Thomas Turner. 4 is Elliot Harvey. 5 is Derek Morgan. 6 is Levi King. 10 is Bradley Pennell. 11 is Paul Stewart, 12 is Ewan Wilson, 14 is Jake Douglas, 15 is Jensen Brown, 16 is Luke Hughes, 17 is the dual nationality racer from America and Japan, Reese Ushijima, 18 is Scott Jackson, 19 is Matt Armstrong, 21 is Archie Tillett, 22 is the Welsh lady Anna Morris, 23 is Joe Turney, from Singapore it's 24 Alexander Huang, 26 is Eleanor Morris, sister of Anna of course, Lewis Malin is 32, 38 is Owen Byatt, 41 is Rory Hudson, Morgan Porter is the 46, 49 is the man from the Isle of Man, Joshua Thompson-White, Sky Siddle the 53, 57 Sean Butcher, 66 is Kieran Long. And then we have a few others added to the list, although they've all gone through so quickly I can't keep up with them all. 77 is Rashid Ghanem, the Lebanese driver. Saul Robinson is the 72. 81 is Richard Morris. And then we have 73 Cole Kilner and 92 Henry Laws. I think I've got through them all, but I apologise if I've missed one or two, because they flashed through very quickly. I couldn't quite complete the lap before they all started to skate through, having done their first lap. But they're not going to get many of them, because there's now under 3 minutes left of the session. They're only going to get, I think, 3 fast laps in. So the senior X30s playing a game of chicken in the pits, waiting for everybody else, and then they all just decide to swarm out together in what has proved to be not a 6-minute qualifying session, a 4.5-minute qualifying session, because none of them went out until a minute and a half had ticked by. Somebody eventually saying, well, this is getting ridiculous. We need to come out and set some laps, otherwise none of us are going to qualify. Here we go. The first flying lap. Scott Jackson goes to the top briefly, then Harvey tops it, then Derek Morgan tops it. The 5 plate is in first position. It's Morgan from Harvey, Porter, Laws goes up to 3rd place though. So Morgan is first from Harvey, Laws. Up to the first position comes Lewis Malin. So Lewis Malin has gone straight to the top. Malin in first from Morgan, Harvey, Laws, Porter, Hudson, Hodgson, Tillett, Scott Jackson, and the man from the Isle of Man, Josh Thompson-White. Owen Byatt is 11th, then it's Paul Stewart, Rashid Ghanem, Risa Shijima, then it's Morris, that's Richard Morris, Ewan Wilson, Jensen Brown, Sean Butcher, Saul Robinson, Thomas Turner, Joe Turney, Anna Morris, Brad Pennell, Matt Armstrong, Luke Hughes, Kieran Long, Cole Kilner, Sky Siddle, Alexander Huang, Eleanor Morris, Jake Douglas and Levi King. I'm trying to count through the grid. I think that we've got 3 ladies in this particular grid. It seems that the world of senior karting is really starting to get a few more female drivers on the grid. We've got Anna and Eleanor Morris and Sky Siddle. I'm trying to see if I've missed out 1 or 2. I might have done. Oliver Hodgson goes fastest of all on his second flying lap, and we've got 1:19 on the clock, so there's time for 2 more. Hodgson, Turner, King, Byatt, Tillett, Wilson, Turney, Kilner. Up to 8th comes Lewis Malin. So he's tucked in behind Joe Turney. So Turney's in there. There is a quarter of a second between the first 6. Purple in the first sector on this lap for Oliver Hodgson, number 2 seed, runner-up last year. Hodgson, Turner, King, Byatt, Tillett, Wilson, Turney, Malin, Kilner and Thompson-White. Then it's Paul Stewart from Derek Morgan, Laws, Hudson, Ushijima, Porter, Jackson, Pennell, Elliot Harvey, then Luke Hughes, Huang, Richard Morris, Rashid Ghanem, Saul Robinson, Anna Morris, Kieran Long, Eleanor Morris, Sean Butcher, Jake Douglas, Sky Siddle, Jensen Brown and Matt Armstrong. 1.67 seconds between all of them, and that's 32 drivers. Brilliant stuff from the senior X30s as they continue around the circuit. 1 more flying lap to go for the majority, but I think some of them are actually going to run out of time. This is what dawdling in the pits does. Second fastest now is Levi King in the 6th plate. Byatt is 3rd. Laws goes up to 4th. Archie Tillett goes 2nd. 0.24 back from Oliver Hodgson, who still has that magnificent lap he's just pulled. A 19.19 final sector got him a 57.67, and he's fastest of all again in the first sector. Now, has everybody gone through? Yes, they have. So this is their 4th and final flying lap. They've obviously done their out lap and then 3 flying laps, but now this is their last one. 4th and final lap around the circuit for the PF International contingent at Senior X30, and it's now or never for all of them, and they know it. So this has got to be a good fast lap. They've got to do the best they can with it. Oliver Hodgson, fastest of all in the first sector. Derek Morgan down in 18th is fastest of all in the second sector. He's going to shoot up. Here they come across the line. We'll find out who gets the final first position time. Hodgson completes his run and he's still first. Morgan goes second, 0.2 second behind. Tillett is 3rd, for the moment at least. Byatt is 4th. King. Wilson goes up to 4th. Ewan Wilson goes up to P4. Lewis Malin goes up to 3rd. And I think that's all she wrote. So yes, it is going to be Oliver Hodgson. Oliver Hodgson finishes up in first position then. Derek Morgan 2nd from Lewis Malin, Archie Tillett, Ewan Wilson, Owen Byatt, Levi King, Henry Laws, Scott Jackson and Elliot Harvey rounding out the top 10. 0.41 of a second between them. Then it's Luke Hughes, Thomas Turner, Reese Ushijima, Morgan Porter, Cole Kilner, Matt Armstrong, Joe Turney down in 17th, Jake Douglas is 18th, Josh Thompson-White is in 19th place from Paul Stewart, Sean Butcher, Richard Morris, Rory Hudson, Alexander Huang, Rashid Ghanem, Bradley Pennell, Jensen Brown, Saul Robinson, Kieran Long, Sky Siddle, and then Anna and Eleanor Morris. Wow, that's your 32 kart grid. Absolutely sensational qualifying from the X30 seniors, and that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our day's activity here at PF International in what has already proved to be a sensational day at the office, and we've had some cracking racing as a result of what we've witnessed. So brilliant stuff. We really hope you enjoyed listening to the Friday qualifying session, but it's only just beginning there, folks, because we've got 2 days of great racing ahead of us as the weekend continues. We're live again tomorrow morning, trackside, and of course on Downforce Radio once again at at 10:30 in the morning, and then again at 10 minutes past 12 in the afternoon. And then we'll do the same thing on the Sunday at 10 minutes past 8 for the repêchages and first finals. And then we've got the 1:15 broadcast. We'll return on Sunday for the final. So do join us, 10:30, live on Downforce Radio for tomorrow morning's second group of qualifying sessions. And then at 12:10, we will go through 23 exciting heats to determine who's going to be right at the top end. Absolutely brilliant stuff, and we're all looking forward to it. I'm Jake Sanson from here at PF International, the first round of the Super 1 Series in association with Cato Motorsport and everybody here at the Trent Valley Kart Club. A huge thank you, and we'll see you all again tomorrow morning.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jacques Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Landon Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.